Assalamu alaikum. My name is Iqbal Rana. I'm currently the administrator of Tahir Academy, Los Angeles, California. We have two Jamaats here, LA East and LA Inland Empire. We take combined classes for all the Atfal. At this point, our academy has 78 students, and we are running it with one administrator and about 11 teachers. The question at hand is, how do we administer an academy? Or how do we start an academy? And how many administrators or how many teachers are needed to run an academy or start an academy? With my experience, I can say that if you have about 15 students, you should start to administer it. One teacher, one administrator can start it, though not ideal. In a perfect world, you would want to have an administrator and a teacher both working together to start the school, because what if one person cannot come to the school, the other person does? So in this case, the administrator also teaches at times. 15 students, one teacher and one administrator, an administrator who works as a backup teacher as well. So now I also recommend that the student to teacher ratio should always be 15:1. So in this case, if you have this small a Jamaat, a 15 student Jamaat, you can always expect 2 to 4 students who will not come to the class. So 10, 11 students will be there, so a teacher could be enough. But again, you have an administrator also. In this case, those 2 people can divide the number of students as well based on the levels that they stand. Now, one thing we have to keep in mind, it's very important, is that you cannot put all students in the same class and be teaching the same exact level. So they are at different levels. So you may have to combine multiple levels, but again, considering it's 10 to 15 students, I would say a teacher and an administrator should work. Without getting into too much details about administrator, I see that if number of students increases from 20 to 30, then definitely you need a second teacher with one administrator. If you go further, the numbers are roughly, if it goes to 40, then you're definitely talking about 3 or more teachers with one dedicated administrator in that case. So again, the number of teachers are increasing, and the role or the responsibilities of the administrators are also increasing. So as soon as you're over 35 or some number which is closer to 40, you need a dedicated administrator. In our case, for example, we have 60 plus students, around 78 I mentioned. If you have that many students, then definitely we are talking about considerable amount of number of teachers. In our case, we have 11 teachers and one dedicated administrator who spends most of his Sunday on that work. You need to be spending a lot of time as an administrator in this case. In an ideal case, when your number grows beyond 60, you have to have an assistant administrator also who would help the administrator. So in summary, I would say if you have 20 or below number, one teacher, one administrator can work, who can also alternate as teachers. If you go to a number around 40, then you need a dedicated administrator with 3 or more teachers. And if you go 60 and above, you need an administrator and an army of teachers, essentially in our case 10 teachers, and of course an assistant administrator to back up the administrator. So that is my summary. If you have any question, you can always email me at iqbalrana@hotmail.com. Jazakallah.